Welcome back, team. So now, team, now let's write down the steps. Okay, let's write down the steps. So what exactly the steps I'm writing down here? What exactly the steps I'm placing here is, so especially what are all the steps, what are all the components we need to follow, what are all the things exactly you need to make sure. We will write all those things in order. If you write all these things, definitely you will get an idea. Okay, how exactly you need to implement the project also. Okay, let's keep it here. Okay, I'm just keeping here and also keeping this one also here. Okay, for example, the portal side, first and foremost, what all the components are required? Tell me first. How many components you are seeing on the screen? A total 3, right? A total 3 components you are seeing. The first one is the virtual machine. Okay, let me write down the step. Okay, provision the VM. That's a first thing, and followed by provisioning the app service, right? So that is also you are seeing, and followed by provisioning the front door. Correct? Provisioning the front door. Correct. A total 3 components which you need to provision from the portal. Okay, this is very clear. So far we understand well. So 3 components only which we need to clear it out. Okay. Alright. So once that is done, there is one more which is on the DevOps side. Okay. The first one is, first what exactly you need to do, team? Okay. Create a step by step. Create a repo. Okay. Ask the developer to check in the code to the repo, right? Once that is done, create a build pipeline. Very interesting point now. You need to register Azure VM as a DevOps agent. Next important point, okay? Register the Azure VM as a DevOps agent. Next one, install required dependencies, right? Or libraries. Okay. Now what exactly the point I placed here? Why I placed install required dependencies and libraries into this particular DevOps agent? You know, team, you should understand one point here. See, when you are executing your build pipeline, let's consider your code belongs to React project. Okay, let's consider React project. If it is a React project, team, just think about it. So you need to build that particular React project by using build pipeline. To build a React project on the build pipeline, what exactly the softwares are required? You need a Node modules and you need a NPM package manager. NPM is package manager. So these 2 dependencies or libraries you must install inside the virtual machine. Then only you can able to build the repository into a zip format. You should understand this one. Okay, I'm talking about the React application where I just bring up, okay, Node.js is the one thing and followed by NPM installation. These 2 are the only things which you need to keep. You may get doubt, hey, how do I know these are the required dependencies or the libraries required for this project? You tell me, team, who knows that? Developer knows that. Because this person definitely will test his code locally. When he is testing his code locally, he will install all required dependencies or jar files into his machine. He knows it very well. If you are not very sure what exactly you should use, ask the developer. As a DevOps engineer, you can comfortably collab with the developer. You can ask how exactly he is doing locally. See the command. Same command you need to apply here. Same command. Same thing. Now, that is exactly the thing I'm talking about here. Install required dependencies, libraries, Node.js and the NPM in case of React. If in case of Java, either I will go for Java and Maven. Maven is a build tool for the backend. Or Java and Gradle. Gradle is also a build tool for Java. They can use in real time. Some people will use Maven, some people will use Gradle team. Okay, no worries on that. So these are the required dependencies and libraries I'm talking about. So you need to install those things into the virtual machine team. That's the thing exactly I'm highlighting. Okay, after installing this one, now configure the DevOps agent into the Azure build pipeline. Okay, that's the first thing which you need to do. And also, what is the configure? Configure is this one I'm talking about. So you will inform build pipeline, hey build pipeline, please go there and use the VM. That is what exactly I'm talking about. Okay, you will inform this one, please utilize this particular agent. That is exactly the line it is talking about. Okay, after that, what exactly you need to do? Next one, create a release pipeline, right? Release pipeline. Create a release pipeline. Once you create a release pipeline, then what exactly the release pipeline requirement here again? You can see here, see release pipeline, again VM configuration is required. So please do the same thing one more time. Configure the DevOps agent in the Azure release pipeline, okay? Release pipeline. And most important thing, one important thing, not only that one more thing also we need to do. Let me tell you, okay? Let me tell you. You need to configure the artifact also, build artifact. We'll call that one as a build artifact, okay? Pass the build artifact, okay? As the input, so input for the release pipeline, okay? Now you will understand what exactly this particular artifact I'm talking about. If you recall team, after configuring your DevOps agent for the build pipeline, you need to trigger the pipeline, okay? Execute the pipeline, okay? Execute the pipeline. The moment when you execute the pipeline, the output is an artifact, okay? Artifact will be generated. The same artifact you need to configure as the input for the release pipeline. That is what the point exactly, the zip file you need to pass it to release pipeline. That's a simple thing, team. That is the same thing I'm struggling here, okay? Same point I'm trying to convey. All right. Once you are done with this particular thing, then the release pipeline job, one more connection is there for the release pipeline. So you covered this connection, you covered this connection also. These two you covered. There is another connection which is these particular thing, which are these particular two things, okay? That is what the service connection. So you need to create one service connection team. Let me explain what exactly the service connection here is. Okay. Create a service connection. So once you create a service connection team, then this is what exactly service connection I'm talking about. So service connection is nothing but the application, it's an application which will be provisioned in the Azure portal. Our application will be provisioned, okay? We can refer that, but it will not be directly visible to you. That one we'll call as Azure Active Directory application. We will call that one as. An application will be registered. That application will establish a connection between your release pipeline to your app service. That is what the application job. That application will call as a service principal. Maybe when I'm showing you practically, you will understand this one, team. Don't worry on this. So just listen for now. Just you need to create a service connection. Create a service connection to app service. Okay, app service. But you need to create a service connection to app service. Here the case is for both primary and secondary. Correct? That is the point exactly you need to think about. Connection to app service, primary and secondary. All right, okay. That's all. Once you are done with this thing, your deployment is absolutely fine into the app service. Your deployment is absolutely fine. Now, okay, finally, your friendo to app service connection is exactly the important thing here. Whenever you are provisioning your friendo, at that time itself you will form the connection. But you are missing one thing. What is that one here is? You need to think about the security, okay? you need to think about the security. How exactly you can make sure the security here, Tim, okay? So that is whitelisting. Whitelisting FD at the app service. That is exactly the thing which we need to take care. Once you are done with this thing, once you whitelist this particular app service at the, front door at the app service, there is one more thing I just want to introduce here. I want to change my domain, whatever the domain Azure is providing to you, okay? So configure the custom domain. So whatever the domain Azure is providing, I don't require that. I want to configure my own domain. That is the another one which we will think about. So far okay, but ultimately you missed one interesting fact, that is what? Logging and monitoring. Let's cover that one also. Azure logs, right? So that is exactly the thing. Especially there is a log analytics workspace. Especially this is the component team which we will use in real time also. This is one of the component which can hold all your application or service logs or server logs. In real time, few people will use, this is little bit costly. They will charge you per $1, for 1 GB, $3 they will charge you. This is little bit costly, team, okay? It will charge you like anything in real time. That's why people are going for, because everyone is going for the Kubernetes, that's why the Prometheus Grafana is exactly the apt model. But if still client wants to explore the logs really well or really better, they can go for the ELK or Splunk or Datadog. Even that is also fine. All these lot of options are there. Okay, they can refer anything to. But let's start understanding the Azure logs first. Okay, followed by you need Azure Monitor. Okay, another one. So Azure Monitor is also important. Especially the health monitoring, which definitely we will double check the health monitoring team. And followed by there is one more, especially the monitoring. Let's consider the Azure monitoring. This is what the Azure monitoring with alerts and all. So your logging will be covered, logging and monitoring will be covered with these components. Okay, so I'm just adding those things also as part of this implementation. Okay, so that you will get an idea. All right, team. If you notice this particular project, we covered from repo to logging and monitoring. This is exactly the thinking you need to build from your end also. And you also needs to act in the same way. Okay, whatever the project deployment you have, you need to cover all these things. That would be a really very good option. If you start thinking about the security, start thinking about the logging and monitoring, thinking about the other HA, scalability and DR, definitely that one will be a very good add-on for you for your career. Okay. All right, team. Thank you for the session. See you in the next part.